Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. DTC P0463 refers to an issue with the fuel level sensor, specifically indicating that the fuel gauge sending unit circuit is experiencing high voltage. The fuel level sensor is crucial as it relays information about the fuel level in the tank to the powertrain control module, PCM. A malfunction can lead to inaccurate fuel readings. The sensor is integrated with the fuel tank unit, making access a bit more involved. When the PCM detects that the voltage from the fuel level sensor exceeds a specified value, it stores this diagnostic trouble code, DTC, as a flag for potential issues in the circuit. Understanding the implications of this error code is critical when diagnosing related issues in the vehicle's performance or fuel gauge readings. Timely diagnostics and repairs can enhance vehicle functionality and ensure accurate fuel level assessments. The fuel level sensor, also known as the sending unit, is a critical component for the accurate operation of the fuel gauge. It is integrated within the fuel tank unit, typically located near the bottom of the tank, where it can measure the level of fuel effectively. Its primary role is to send voltage signals to the powertrain control module, PCM, which interprets these signals to provide the driver with accurate fuel level readings on the dashboard. If the sensor malfunctions or experiences high voltage readings, the PCM will detect this anomaly and trigger DTC P0463. Consequently, this could lead to misleading fuel gauge readings, impacting the driver's awareness of fuel levels, which is essential for planning refueling stops. Understanding the fuel level sensor's function and its position is essential for troubleshooting this diagnostic code. Several factors can lead to the triggering of DTC P0463. Firstly, a faulty fuel gauge sending unit is one of the most common causes. If the sensor itself is defective, it may send incorrect voltage outputs, leading the PCM to flag high voltage conditions. Another potential cause is an open circuit in the wiring, specifically in the connections leading to the fuel gauge sending unit. In this case, breaks or corrosion in the wires could lead to erroneous voltage readings. Additionally, a malfunctioning gauge control module could also trigger this error code. The module may fail to process the signals correctly, resulting in a discrepancy in voltage seen by the PCM. Each of these causes must be evaluated during the troubleshooting process to identify and rectify the underlying issue accurately. When DTC P0463 is present, a range of symptoms may become evident. The most immediate concern is likely to be the inaccurate fuel gauge readings, which can mislead the driver about the actual fuel level in the tank. This may lead to unexpected fuel depletion, causing a risk of running out of fuel while driving. Additionally, warning lights on the dashboard may illuminate, indicating that the vehicle's onboard diagnostic system has detected a significant issue requiring attention. In some cases, this error can also impact engine performance, as real-time fuel level information is used to optimize fuel delivery and combustion. Thus, understanding these symptoms is vital for timely and effective troubleshooting to prevent further complications. The first step in troubleshooting DTC P0463 is to turn the vehicle ignition to the on mode and allow it to sit for 30 seconds. This initial step is critical for ensuring that all systems are powered and that the powertrain control module, PCM, can accurately assess the fuel gauge sending unit's output without interference from transient signals. By allowing this waiting period, technicians can help ensure a more stable readout from the sensor. It's an essential procedure that prepares the vehicle's system to begin diagnostic checks, establishing a baseline reference point for further testing in the troubleshooting process. In the second step of the troubleshooting process, the technician must inspect the fuel gauge sending unit and perform a test specific to it. This involves verifying whether the sensor is functioning correctly and outputting the proper voltage to the PCM. The technician should ensure that connections are secure and free from any corrosion or damage. If the sending unit indicates a voltage that exceeds the expected range, it may need to be replaced. Proper testing of the sending unit is fundamental, as it's a primary source of data for the fuel gauge, and any faults at this stage could directly contribute to the high voltage condition triggering DTC P0463. The third troubleshooting step involves inspecting the external circuits, specifically the signals labeled Fuel Gauge Plus and Fuel Gauge Minus. These circuits are crucial in transmitting the data from the fuel level sensor to the gauge control module and ultimately to the PCM. Technicians should perform an open wire inspection and check for continuity in these circuits. If there's an open circuit or any sort of disconnection, it can lead to inaccurate voltage readings and trigger DTC P0463. Results from this inspection will help ascertain whether the issue lies within the wiring infrastructure rather than the sending unit itself. Proper diagnosis at this stage helps in pinpointing the problem more accurately. If earlier inspections confirm that both the fuel gauge sending unit and external circuits are functioning correctly, the next step is to inspect the gauge control module. This module plays a pivotal role in processing the signals received from the fuel gauge sending unit. If the gauge control module shows normal operation, the technician can rule out this component as the source of the problem. However, if the module fails to provide expected output or shows signs of internal malfunction, it may require replacement. The process of elimination is critical. Therefore, ensuring correct operation of all components is essential to resolve DTC P0463 effectively. After completing the necessary repairs, it's crucial to conduct a final repair verification to ensure that the issue causing DTC P0463 has been fully resolved. This involves testing the functionality of all previously inspected components, including the fuel gauge sending unit, the external circuits, and the gauge control module. Technicians must then clear the DTC from the PCM and run a diagnostic check to see if the code reappears. Successful completion of this final verification indicates that the repair was effective, allowing all components to function as intended without triggering the DTC again. If the code reoccurs, further investigation is warranted to ensure that no underlying issues remain. To help prevent issues like DTC P0463 from arising in the future, regular preventive maintenance is key. Technicians and vehicle owners should routinely inspect the wiring and connections associated with the fuel gauge sending unit. This will help catch any potential corrosion or disconnections before they lead to bigger issues. Additionally, monitoring the performance of the fuel gauge can alert drivers to anomalies early. If the gauge starts providing inaccurate readings, it can be a sign that the sending unit is failing or that circuits need inspection. Proactive maintenance reduces the risks of unexpected failures and increases overall reliability. In conclusion, addressing DTC P0463 involves a thorough understanding of the involved components and a systematic approach to diagnosis. By following structured troubleshooting steps, technicians can accurately identify and rectify the underlying issues causing the high voltage error in the fuel level sensor circuit. Essential components such as the fuel gauge sending unit, gauge control module, and external circuits all play interconnected roles in the system. Ensuring their functionality is vital for clear operation and accurate fuel level readings. Furthermore, emphasizing preventive maintenance practices can significantly reduce the likelihood of recurrence of such DTCs. Overall, timely diagnostics, repairs, and maintenance are key to maintaining the vehicle's reliability and performance. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.